Welcome to this Key Learning Initiative video. Today's topic is linear equations with multiple variables and constants on both sides. In other words, we simplify, then we carry on and solve it. So, linear equations. I use 7 steps to solve all linear equations. All 7 can be found in the first comment below. Today, however, I'm using just step 3 to 7, not 1 and 2 yet. Let's have a look at our steps. So, step 3, simplify both sides if possible. Step 4, choose which side the variable terms are going on and which side the constant terms are going on. Step 5, by adding or subtracting, which is an inverse operation, move all the variable terms to the chosen side. Step 6, by adding or subtracting, move all the constant terms to the no variable side. And lastly, step 7, by dividing by the coefficient of the variable, get it by itself. So let's have a look at a few examples. Example 1, 3x plus 2 minus x equals 1 plus 4x minus 9. And there we have step 3 to step 5. Step 3, simplify both sides if possible. So let's look on our left hand side. If we're grouping like terms, we have a 3x and a minus x. So let's use those and put them together. So 3x minus x gives us 2x, and then we've got a plus 2, and that doesn't have anything else with it, equals. Alright, in our right hand side we've got a 1 and a negative 9 are our like terms, and there's just a 4x by itself. So we have 4x, and then 1 minus 9 is minus 8. And so now we have simplified both sides. Step 4. Choose which side the variable terms are going on and which side the constant terms are going on. So let's have a look at our equation. On my left hand side, my coefficient of x is 2. On my right hand side, my coefficient of x is 4. And so hopefully everybody sees that 4 is bigger than 2. And I have my variables on my right hand side and my constants on my left. If you're not sure how I'm choosing which side the variables and the constant terms are on, please watch my lesson 4, which has variables and constants on both sides. It explains it there. Alright, so let's have a look at step 5. By adding or subtracting, move all the variable terms to the chosen side. And we have chosen the right hand side for our variables. So we need to get this 2x to that side. Now, to get rid of a 2x, our rule says by adding or subtracting. So we've got 2x, we take 2x away from both sides. That means 2x minus 2x just disappears, and we have 2 on the left hand side equals 4x minus 2x is 2x, and then minus 8. And then we've completed step 5. Let's bring in our next 2 steps. Step 6, by adding or subtracting, move all the constant terms to the no variable side. In other words, we need to get this negative 8 to that side. So, to get rid of a negative 8, our rule says by adding or subtracting. So, the opposite of negative 8 is plus 8. And so we add 8 to both sides. On my left hand side, 2 plus 8 gives me 10 equals 2x is there, and minus 8 plus 8 disappears. And so we have now finished step 6. Step 7. By dividing by the coefficient of the variable, get it by itself. In other words, what is in front of my x? And there's a 2 in front of my x. And so I divide both sides by 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5, and that equals 2x divided by 2 is x. And so now I've finished step 7, and that means my equation is solved. 5 equals x, or x equals 5. Example 2. 4 plus 5y plus 1 equals 4y plus 8 minus 2y. Let's bring in our steps. Step 3, simplify both sides if possible. I look on my left-hand side. I have a 4 plus 5y plus 1, so my like terms on my left-hand side are my 4 and my plus 1. Therefore, I have my 5y, 4 plus 1 is plus 5, and that equals, now on my right-hand side, I have 4y plus 8 minus 2y, and so my like terms are 4y and minus 2y. 4y minus 2y is 2y plus 8. And so that is step 3, simplify both sides if possible. Step 4, choose which side the variable terms are going on and which side the constant terms are going on. To do this, we look at our coefficients, and so I have a 5 in front of my y on the left-hand side, and I have a 2 in front of my y on my right-hand side. Okay, 5 is bigger than 2, so on my left-hand side I'm going to put my variables, and my right-hand side I'm going to put my constants. And so that is step 4, done. Step 5, by adding or subtracting, move all the variable terms to the chosen side. In other words, I need to get my 2y to the left-hand side. My rule says by adding or subtracting, and so to get rid of a 2y or to move it to the left-hand side, I subtract 2y from both sides. 5y minus 2y gives me 3y, and then it's plus 5. That equals 2y minus 2y is 0 and disappears, and therefore it just equals 8. Step 5 is now done. Let's bring in our last two steps. Step 6. By adding or subtracting, move all the constant terms to the no variable side. In other words, what I need to do is move my plus 5 to that side, to the right-hand side. Now, by adding or subtracting, so to get rid of a plus 5, I subtract 5 from both sides. That gives me 3y, and then plus 5 minus 5 disappears, equals, and 8 minus 5 is 3. And that is step 6. Done. Step 7. By dividing by the coefficient of the variable, get it by itself. So what number is in front of my letter? I have a 3 in front of my y, and so I divide both sides by 3. On my left-hand side, 3y divided by 3 gives me y, and that equals 3 divided by 3 is 1. And so that is step 7 done. And that is my answer to my equation, y equals 1. Thank you for watching this Key Learning Initiative video on linear equations with multiple variables and constants on both sides. I hope it has been helpful. Please like and share so that more and more people can see these.